Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Tenax series, season number 5. My name is Soren. Joining me on the desk today is Kai. Kai, how are we doing?
I am doing great. I'm so excited to be here for this week 3 match. But actually, Soren, we're actually bringing it back a week to week 2. We
Absolutely.
have Skyline Otters versus Kinetic. And yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be pretty excited because, like we said, this is technically a week 2 match, right? So they only have one match on the board so far. Remember, we're still in group stages. So lots on the line, but really, both teams still kind of have a leg in this race so far. So yeah, I mean, this is a pretty important one when you talk about a group stage.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a bit of a decider on how the top and bottom halves are going to be playing out because both these teams, being the only two teams left that have actually only played one game, they're both sitting in that 3 and 4 slot. Kinetic, I believe, are the team that are 1-0, Skyline being 0 and 1. And as for maps, we are going to be going over to Lotus first. Kinetic are going to be on the defense for that one, followed by Ascent, where Kinetic are also going to be defense. And if we make it to game number 3, it is going to be decided on Haven. I think every team's favorite 3 maps. It seems like every single series has at least a
Yeah.
Lotus,
Oh
an
yeah.
Ascent, or a Haven, if not multiple or all of them.
Yeah. I mean, I think these are standard maps, especially when you look at a lot of circuits, and a lot of these players play in similar circuits, but GC circuits,
Yeah.
collegiate circuits, everyone loves Haven, everyone loves Lotus. Of course, like Ascent is just like a tried
Oh
and
yeah.
true. So not really too surprised with this map pick, especially given that it is only week 2, right? So there's not a lot of kind of info on yourself, but also on how these other teams play. So you kind of want to go with the basics and just it gives you a pretty good indication of how you're stacking up against the other teams in this group stage.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this game is actually going to be very interesting because Kinetic are coming in as the favorites, being 1-0 up. But they did face Gulpers, who has had a bit of a rough start. I think they're 0-2 now, coming into this week 3 matchup for them. But Skyline, being the 0-1 team, actually had to play Prosperity X, which I believe is at least one of, if not the best team currently, at least in their group. So they had a
Yeah.
really tough trial in week number 1. And actually, they took them to all 3 maps. They kind of got blown out on Sunset, but we're not playing Sunset, so that's irrelevant. But they had a really good ascent where they actually beat Prosperity. So game number 2, I'm excited to see how they go. I'm a little bit worried for Kinetic here because if their ascent is really strong, then game 1 is kind of a must-win for them.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see how Ascent goes when we get in it. But let's talk about Lotus a little bit. We have the agent select here up, and just looking at, I mean, I'm excited. We don't have mirror comms, and I do
Really?
think when we're talking about the utility offered on each of these teams, we have the difference of Vise has been played a lot more, especially in maps like Lotus. But then you have Colby still sticking with the chamber. That Waylay's coming out, so I think we have a little bit of a difference in these like kind of maybe non-meta teams right now, but if you know what you're doing and you know how to play them, like, double controller is such a strong meta on here for a while. You got the double duelist though with the Waylay and the Yoru. I think that can be hard to play around, especially with that chamber. So I think we're just gonna kind of have to see how these teams play, but I'm a little bit excited, and I think this will give us a good look into how the other 2 maps, should we make it to map 3, will go.
Yeah, absolutely. I do agree. I think these compositions are actually really fun because one, they're not mirrored. Also, neither one of these compositions are like the most played. I
Yeah.
mean, obviously that Brimstone is a bit of a wild card, I believe. Actually, I think that might have actually been a visual glitch. It's actually a Harbor. It was a little bit more standard, but he's a solo controller Harbor, which is not something we see. We usually see him paired with at least like a Viper or a secondary controller to have a little
Mhm.
bit more impact. So definitely a lot of interesting comps here. We do see site is immediately secured by the attacking side. With the spike being planted, it is a full 5-man retake here, and it is slow going.
Yeah, but what is interesting is it's a retake, but it's a split retake, right? Because now you're looking at them that have all kind of eyes here coming from flank, and now just able to make their way. Lots
Player
of shots
standing.
coming out all down here to Colby, though. Bomb is played, and that defuse is going to be able to go off, so no problem, no hesitation. And that is going to be round 1 on the board for the defenders here.
Yeah, absolutely. And the split retake is kind of a tale of two sides there. You know, the take over on Rubble is a little bit scattered. It's a little bit rough as I think 2 members fall as they try to push through on that 3-man push. But meanwhile, the 2 defenders that push through on the actual site, super successful, remove 3 players on site. It makes it so that while there is still 1 attacker left towards Rubble, they're you know, outnumbered and outgunned, and there's really nothing they can do. So that's a nice, clean win there for the defensive side of Kinetic. It's a very good start, and that's an amazing start from them. Logic with the gamer gun, the Ares, spraying to the smoke, seemingly just pick someone off before they have really any opportunity to have a say on the map.
Now, normally here when you're Skyline Otters, when you're not quite on that buy, of course, Kinetic has the money being able to win. I don't prefer going towards an A or a C because you're going to walk right into guns just like this Droopy Booty Whiffer. Not going to whiff on the first 2, but Cakewalks are going to clean that up and be able to pick up a gun. But still, that's only 1 gun lost here for the side of Kinetic. Yeah, like I'm saying, when you're kind of on that save, especially after pistol, I don't love going towards these 2 sites. Now, it could be a little bit predictable, of course, to go B, but I think when you have those close angles, especially when you're having classics like some of them did, I think it's easier to work around those close angles. You could even, like, if I have a shorty, the Sheriff, yeah, I mean, does work on these long lines, but when you're up against that gun difference, it's really tough to push. And of course, Skyline had a rough time, but they should have a better time here. They're able to buy up an Outlaw and full rifles to make it a little bit easier.
Yeah, and immediately we see a little bit more aggression from this attacking side as both teams meet in the middle on Rubble. 1 player falls in the defense of Kinetic, who tried to play a little bit too aggressive, trying to satchel up onto that wall there by Rubble, and it's just immediately put down. Logic holds the line over in Tree while Elaborate finds yet another kill to put their team ahead. Colby's using that Outlaw to great effect, just putting down some suppressive fire, forcing this defense back as they secure A site practically for free. But Spike was down in the back, so it's actually going to be a little bit of a delayed plant.
That does give Kinetic time to rotate together and start to kind of decide how they're going to retake, but B going to TP right in the sight of one of their players, and of course the rest of them not able to quite retake. But all things considered, I mean, pretty good bonus. Only took 1 gun though offline for the side of Skyline, so gonna be tough. It looks like, oh, for a second there we almost got an operator buy from Boopy. Decided not to do that. But again, I mean, you know, I think when you think of a typical game of Valorant, right, like 2-1, that's not really uncommon for the start of a game. I think now we're gonna start to get into it and start to really see what these teams have to kind of push up against. I think util is going to become really important.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of the util, a big dump of util right at Rubble. Same pretty much play as we saw last time around, but no kills get traded as the attack actually has to reset a little bit. This Chamber super aggressive over on Heap. And it looks like B might be the preferred destination. Aline 2 sitting right outside, but that Spike is still back in the spawn, and it looks like it's gonna be making its way to C. So might be a door play through on the C. There's only 2 players sitting on C to hold. It's the Viper and the Vice, probably the best pair to have here to hold back this push.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough to play into. I think the other thing that's going to be tough here a little bit for Skyline for the attacking half is they only have that Harbor as their solo controller, which means that if you decide not to commit to a hit, it's going to be harder to back off, but looks like you don't need to back off.
Spike planted.
2v4 here, but they are going to get the plant down. Boopy just searching for 1 head, not going to find it.
1 enemy remaining.
Nice shots coming out, and it's all down to just Sova. Not going to matter. Pretty clean retake, but you know, I don't even think it came down to the retake necessarily. I mean, I think that was a pretty good hold on site. You mentioned the Viper there on site. Boopy, I mean, 3K and Skyline still committing to it. Gets the plant down, but I mean, that's tough, right? A 2v4, you're kind of stuck on site, don't have a good post plant.
Yeah, no, definitely an awkward position. Luckily, though, there is still a buy here for the side of Skyline. I say a buy because it's not an ideal one, but there's something on the board. Most players having rifles, Cake Muncher on that Yoru, having the Bucky, maybe a little bit of trick play coming out here in the cards for them. And Colby is getting the operator. However, no shield, so it's a glass cannon if you've ever seen one. Loopy is immediately removed, though. Cake Muncher is going to take the opportunity to pop the Dimensional Drift. This might be the play. This is where you can get the value with that Bucky.
We'll see if they find anything with that Bucky. Droopy Booty Whiffer gonna at least even out the numbers.
Spike planted.
Spike planted still. Man advantage on the side. Here of Kinetic.
I suggest you move.
Absolutely room here for the defense for this retake. That's not a great start. It's Fell Falls, VWV as well. And now Logic alone in the 1v3 has the Odin, has the firepower, but it's just not enough. You're the cat with a 4K on the round. Comes up big for the team when they need it. It's kind of expensive. Only 2 players left standing after that, but that's a big win for them as the economy still wasn't fully set up for the side of Kinetic. So this is going to be, I'm not even going to call it a half buy. It looks like 1 rifle and a bunch of sheriffs. So that's all they're going to have going into this round 6.
Yeah, definitely rough on the economy, but it looks like they're in a good place just being able to save here and buy for next. And yeah, Sheriffs and a Guardian, at least they're going to be able to, you know, if they can land their shots, put in some work. They know this operator's in play with Colby now too, though, so not something you want to peek into. But one thing I do kind of appreciate from Kinetic, and like, yeah, that last round didn't quite go their way, but I mean, I also think that was very much thanks to You're the Cat with a hero play, but they're not afraid to give up sight and let that plant go down and retake together.
Really good positioning there from Logic, who's able to just execute too as they try to push into tree. Does help level out the playing field quite a bit. Spike is going to be planted though. It's a little bit of a late push from this defense while Logic's stuck in a very awkward position, and Colby swapping over to that headhunter to remove them from that backline. And now, with very limited information on where they are, but so much control of the site, they know exactly where they need to look to stop this retake.
One enemy remaining.
Good amount of util left still, but a 1v3 is tough. They're just gonna hunt out. Droopy Booty Whiffer finds Cake Muncher, but not gonna be enough. The round here does go to Skyline Otters, but that was a really, really expensive round considering you were against 4 Sheriffs and a Guardian.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, very, very expensive. But, you know, that being said, we do have yet another full buy coming out. I guess full buy, and it's a couple light shields for the side of Kinetic, but it's at least full rifles in play. The operator in the hands of Colby is still in effect. I think the big difference maker coming into this is the fact that ultimates are now really starting to come online in full effect. 3 apiece being available, in fact, and on top of that, it's the fact that there's just so much more heavy firepower that Odin. Oh wow, super heavy push immediately, and a lot of ultimates invested in a full util dump from both sides, but Waylay trying to get into the back of sight just immediately gets down.
Waylay not going to be able to make it, but that's okay. They still have 4 players in play, and you can see on this flank, though, weren't expecting VWV to be sitting there. Now, Spike down, all down here to Colby and Coxera. Kind of stuck here on this B site. They know they're gonna have to get plant, gonna have to get that bomb and just slowly clearing the corners. But look at this, they know exactly where they are they gonna line up though? Colby's gonna find one. Woo. Hunting for another one. Player sees it but misses, and Droopy Booty Whiffer not gonna whiff this time. Finds 2, secures the round here. Remember, for Kinetic.
Yeah. And that's huge. I mean, it was a very heavy buy coming out from the side of Skyline, so losing that is not amazing. Also, 2 of their 3 ultimates were immediately invested into that round. And it looks like none of the side of Kinetic actually used theirs. So that is massive. That's going to give them a nice advantage. That chamber has immediately popped their ult going into round and this next round. So trying to make up for a little bit of a lower buy with some heavy armaments there. But it is going to be pretty much a hero rifle, as there's only 2 other players with a rifle in hand. Yet again, a very aggressive push onto A. It looks like A and C are the primary choice for Skyline on their preferred sites. Logic prepared for that, removes Elaborate before they can even make it to site.
Yeah, I think another thing too with that. Oh, that made me nervous there for a second. Did find the gun, but
Spike down.
at what
A.
cost? Guns here are in favor.
One enemy remaining.
The plant down fell with the op picked up from Colby.
Yep, there we go. Logic picking up a 4K on the round. I mean, very chaotic round in the process there. And I just want to say, they're talking about it in the chat in game. Can I just say, Cake Muncher has that moment where I think they were next to Logic and they pass each other into the smoke. Logic doesn't see them.
Yeah,
so
that
Cake
was
Muncher's
insane.
panicking and shooting and is trying to shoot, Logic, but misses them in the chaos. But their whiffed shot hits, I think, the Omen in the back of sight on just a freak moment.
No, actually, that was
Where
crazy.
That's one of those moments where I can't believe that got caught on camera. How does that happen purely on accident?
My ult's ready.
Okay.
I'll handle
Colby drawing first blood here for the attack, and that is going to force this defense into an awkward position. Omen having to TP away to get back to safety to allow a possibility for a retake to come out here.
fake teleport.
Able to inch their way on site, and that's an ultimate coming out here from Droopy Booty Whiffer as they make their way, starting to retake. Colby though, with that operator back in hand, going to start doing some damage. Another ultimate investment here by Boopy, but slowly not going to matter much anymore. All down to BWV finds one, but just getting spammed. Needs to find 4 more, and that's tough. They're just hunting. Finds 2, but Colby with classic.
Very scary though. Oh my, very, very close. I think very low health bars for the last 2 as well. That was actually a very winnable position, if not chaotic. And I do want to give some massive props to Colby. I mean, Logic has also been doing an insanely good job, especially as a fade on the defensive side. Not typically where you would see that agent thrive, but man, just operating fade really well. 11 and 6. Colby on this chamber. Again, very similar position of chamber on attack is not something you normally see do well, but also very similar score line. And it's just removing people from the sky. Fell doesn't even have a chance in hell to make it on this site. Wow, shooting clay pigeons out here with the operator.
I think they're just going to keep this execute going. It seems to be working for them here onto this A site. And like you said, you have someone like Colby, put an operator in Colby's hands, and they're just able to just do so much damage. And that's kind of the beauty of having the chambers, even on their light buy, right? You have that kind of operator as your looking for shots of the headhunter. Looks like it's looking a little dicey there, but finally finds that last one on Logic, and Skyline Otters starting to figure out how they need to execute on these sites, and I'm liking what I'm seeing. These have been pretty good couple rounds from them.
Yeah, giving massive credit to Colby there. And then those 2 shots, they very easily, if they hit, that could have been a clip. But the up shot goes wide, the immediate swing with the headhunters, and the first 2 go wide as well. And you don't save that clip. They got the kill in the end, which is all that matters.
Hey, that's all that matters. That's all that matters.
Yeah, it ain't pretty, but it gets the job done. Sees the 8 combo yet again being used to put pressure on this attack side as they're expecting the A push out on the rubble, and it's just an absolute brawl here as 2 players apiece. All 4 members falling, having ultimates. Only that Fade ult still in play, so that's a real big playmaker as Logic is continuing to just hold down this site, giving no room to breathe over to this attack side.
Spike down.
And now, 2v1, Colby has done so well. It's given away his position.
Was able to get the bomb and TP away. Great knows that the other 2 are gonna have to rotate over from the A site. Makes a little bit of noise on B. They know though.
Okay. Yeah.
Kobe is gonna be able to get this plant down.
Spike planted.
Now just has to play post plant. Has the operator in hand. Is gonna start to look for these rotates. It looks like Boopy. Just inch right into
My
there.
ult is ready.
Brings
Teleport's
out
ready.
the headhunter. Needs to reload that op and knows in this 1v1. No need to peek. Heard that flash be placed. Just trying to find Booty Whiffer. Has that TP extended and looking for that with the shorty, but Droopy Booty Whiffer ready on the other side. Finds the kill, gets the defuse, and that was another close round, but that one in favor here of Kinetic.
Yeah, I think maybe a little bit of a
Last
misplay
round in
there
the
from
half.
Colby.
No sense in
Very
saving
good
now.
positioning,
Spend.
or there was a
Enjoy
very,
the
a very good
arsenal.
chance for good positioning there, but playing a little bit too close. Obviously has that shorty, but the moment that they overpeak with that operator, shot goes wide.
Now
They
we're
then try to
waiting.
take a fight that's just not favorable for that shorty.
Yeah.
If they spend a little bit more time, they plant for long, they could still do that very aggressive push up. They could do almost exactly what they did after the post plant, but rather
Yeah.
than playing very close
want
there,
to
they could have
play?
just ran back out the
Play.
rubble. So I already saw them. They could have run out the rubble and had a much better positioning there.
Yeah,
More than for
especially
them.
once
But
you get the Viper there. Don't have to worry about Smith anymore.
yeah, absolutely. I definitely think maybe a little bit of misplay, but it is very close affair now. 65, last round on the board, so a lot of ults should be invested here.
Spike down A.
And here we see the Waylay ult. Here the Raze ult as well.
You move.
Just die.
Now Harbor ult to boot. Everyone just gonna expend their ults. Plant not down yet, but Year of the Cat. Year of the Cat
Spike planted.
does have time to get it down.
That is
Last player
being
standing.
handed over. They know now with that kill on the Year of the Cat exactly where this Yoru is. And they know he's going to be a little bit low on util. Meanwhile, 3 players, Omen, Vice, and Viper, definitely not going to be lacking in that
Not
regard.
ready yet.
Playing is very slow. Don't have the initiation tools that they would like. Pig Muncher takes that fight, tries to pop out, get the pop flash, but Boopy reads the play and executes them as they try to get into a good position. That is going to be 7-5 half
Switching
now in
sides.
favor of Kinetic.
Look them in the eyes when you kill them.
Honestly, not a bad half, and I do think it's like team dependent, but I think a lot of teams tend to do really well on attack here on Lotus, and I would expect Kinetic to be the same way.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a notably an attack sided map. I think most of the time it's very good and most ideal for you to win like 7 to 8 rounds on the attack side.
It is.
The fact that Kinetic winning 7 on the defense is actually kind of insane.
That being said,
This is
though,
going to be
I
a
think they have
very
a-
strong.
I think they have a very defensive sided comp though. They have the Fade Raise, they have the double controller, they have the buys. I think if they get plant down, like post plant, it's gonna be really easy for them.
Now, I don't think they read that there's 2
Spike
people
down.
there.
I have the
A
spike.
little bit of a trick play coming out from the defense. And yeah, that is a huge play. Completely
me.
shuts down the C main push. But there's Viper in the back, Boopy. just trying to do what they can to hold off any attacks from flank. Logic is continuing to be a menace on site. The Yoru, who's sitting towards the
Last
back,
player
is very
standing.
low, but
Spike
finally
down.
that flank
C.
play comes through. Boopy in a really bad spot. Boopy's gonna need to find them all if they want to win this, and it was very possible, but just not enough firepower with one player left standing. Crazy play from Boopy, but it's not enough to get him over the line.
Unfortunately not, but a valiant attempt. Anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. As we do see buyout coming out here. Notably, not a lot of rifles. Typically, we see most teams invest into more rifles here, but you're the cat using that harbor pick to good effect with that judge. A Bucky in the hands of the Yoru. Colby, obviously, with that outlaw, which we've seen them use so often now. And just this solo Guardian in the hands of Elaborate. So definitely, I think, a little bit underpowered to what we would typically see from these aggressive buyouts in round 2. But, I mean, so close angle here. Could just find so much.
To the cat, not quite finding maybe what they wanted to and the impact they wanted to, but it is going to be enough to kind of force this rotate off. Now Elaborate with this Guardian going to be able to kind of hold it down, but if you don't hit those shots, they're going to be able to punish you, and that's exactly what Logic did. That's also a gun. It's able to be retrieved.
Very good gun, too. The only rifle, in fact.
The only rifle.
The push onto site is being just completely neutered here as those shotties coming out in full force. Logic finds one with that Guardian that was picked up and is doing some serious work, but the judge just so much pressure from them. Logic finds 3, very similar position to what they saw Booty. Make it 4, and now such low health. Coxera goes for the swing. Shots go wide, and Logic with the ace in the 1v3 there comes up massive. Boopy wasn't able to do it in round 1, but God, they get it in round 2. Insane plays.
What can I say? Logic is just the GOAT. That's all there is to it. No, well done, nice shots, and that's the danger. You know, you give a gun into the hands of your opponent, and like you said, that wasn't quite a full buy up there.
Nice and slow now.
And then you have an insane player like Logic who's just able to hit those shots. I mean, yeah, great kind of turnaround, especially on their buy up. Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, it looks like C is going to be the choice of site here. A little bit of information given, at least the fact that there's one playing towards Waterfall. We see yet another position where Harbor has that shoddy Bucky now. I do think does shoot, so does give away that small bit of information that's available to them. But they already knew someone was there, so the actual number of players is still a mystery. And with the one player who sat back towards A, towards Rubble, very quick rotate comes through, and I imagine it's going to be a very aggressive push. Well, they know there's at least 1 to 2 players probably still holding down C. And it looks like they are just going to try to go through tree here. Elaborate? Only a classic. Fights 1.
Nice. Okay.
Uptown.
Take hold.
All right, good shots coming up from both teams. It's going to be a fight here on
Face
A.
your
30
fear.
seconds left.
Cake Muncher still kind of late on the rotate, but that's okay. Lots of time to get over it. It is a 2v1 now. Spike planted. All down to Cake Muncher and Elaborate. Trying to coordinate this retake here when you don't have the numbers. You don't have the utility that you'd like.
Last player standing.
Yeah. Awkward positioning there. Down numbers, down firepower as well. I mean, Logic finds 1 with that Sheriff, but it's just a very rough position for them to be in. But that is now 2 wins on the board here for Kinetic, who, again, was able to turn the sides and win that round 2 despite that buyout. So they're going to be feeling really good. Obviously, it is going to be a full buy coming out across the board. Boopy is very low, actually sitting at 0 credits. But the rest of the team is actually feeling pretty healthy in terms of their wallets. Meanwhile, this is a final ditch full buy coming out from Skyline, and that's not a great start as Elaborate tries to play aggressive and gets shut down.
Are gonna kind of just scale up off of that and push through tree. Like you said, it's a little bit of a strange buy here coming out from Skyline. They like half of them bought up. Economy not quite on the same page, but that's okay because you have that's what you have the chamber for, right? They have the headhunter hunting some heads right now. Finds one, picks up a gun.
I'm too far.
Time is ticking. Spike has been planted, and they know that. So the attack, knowing that they're in the 3v1, are just going to completely pull back. They're actually, all 3 are expecting a push out from tree. Obviously, Colby's not aware of it, so they're just going to try to swing through. And a 1v3 tries to go for the pop and swing. And shots go wide, but in a high-low three-person hold, you can't get away from that. It becomes an inevitability. So that is yet another round on the board. First blood to double digits here, secured by Kinetic. And I mean, we talked about this is a tax out of map. It's definitely going to be a tough ask for Skyline to pull this one back. But like you said, they have the tools. This composition is built for it. But especially losing so many rounds back to back, they're in a bit of a scattered buy.
I mean, it is worth saying that this is Kinetic's map pick.
Absolutely.
I mean, you can see why they just sort of feel comfortable in here.
Excusez-moi. My ult is ready.
That headhunter hunts one head. Turn away, gonna a little bit of a pause on that. Some fighting though here, going
Toxin screen down.
down on both sides of the map.
I think Logic's play is making some people question because they're playing so chaotically. Poopy, though, is going to find the first pick onto site. And actually, that Hunter's Fury is going to get a lot of information and secure 2 kills. Huge ultimate invested, but it finds the value in it. Notably, the Yoru is ready for that quick TP back, but okay, was all the way out at sea, just checking to see if there's anything there, but won't find anything. So now, one sitting, an awkward spot is going to be almost certainly found out. Yeah, Viper's
30 seconds left.
Molly is going to force them off of position. It's going to give them enough space to get the spike down. I don't know if they're going to clear
I'll handle this.
back area.
Spike
Dimensional
planted.
Drift is going to be invested.
enemy
And they're
remaining.
doing the Yoru trick where you just stand in front of them, getting all the information, but caught at getting out of the Dimensional Drift. Boopy swings when they have the chance, finds the one, catches the Yoru on the way out. That's a nice clinical round, and Boopy, not able to get the first round of the half in a clutch moment, comes up massive here in round 11. Or excuse me, their round 11 win.
Yeah, I mean, I think right now, if you're Skyline, you're thinking like, wow, where did it all go wrong? I mean, I know, yeah, they had a rough time, but I feel like 7-5, not a terrible half. But yeah, I mean, this is attack-sided, and we did say that going into this, but like, I mean, Kinetic just kind of know what they're doing right now.
Absolutely. That being said, Skyline are going to play aggressive here. The best defense is a good offense. They're going to find one. It's going to remove the Viper, which is a big hit. And the Harbor's ultimate is also invested. So the concuss is coming through.
Spike down.
And Cook, Sarah, and Elaborate are doing a very good job pushing out. Spike is going to fall.
Cover going out.
Now it's a 2v3. That chamber, Tour de Force is still out. The timing is so unfortunate there, but it does confirm that they are still trapped in this very awkward position. I don't know if they're expecting this
One
chamber
enemy
flank.
remaining.
Year the Cat, though, finds GWV, who swings out from behind the smoke, and Elaborate, still sitting on site, cleans up Bell. And there we go. Nice clean round for them. 3 players left. An Operator did get picked up by Colby there.
I love the aggression that we just saw come out from Skyline there on defense. I mean,
Yeah.
I think if they can kind of play a little bit more like that, it kind of stops some of these like strong pushes that I think Kinetics had. But
Now
like
we
the
wait.
counter is right, that's not going to work every round, and you did invest 2 ultimates into that round, but I mean, it worked.
Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
don't know what that was.
Yeah, a little bit of a weird position,
Well,
but
B
yet again,
hopping out of
yeah, not ideal. But again, good aggression coming out from the defense, putting them this attack side on the back foot. 3v4 now. As the goer's not seen with the dog. Taking much, going to take the opportunity. He's going to be found out in response. The Waylay popping the convergence. Is going to find its mark, is going to be found. Logic, though, last player has been so clutch for them in the Headhunter v Vandal showdown. It comes up Logic again. They just can't shut down this fade. Oh my.
You know what? That honestly though, I mean that was pretty close for Skyline. What can you do though when like you're left against Logic? I mean, there's only so much you can do.
I mean, 26, 13, and 7, by the way. Insane score line. No one else has even hit 20 yet. The next closest is Colby, who's also doing very well for themselves at 19 and 13. But man, Logic has also just had that clutch gene, just constantly winning rounds, even when at times it feels like they have no right to do so.
Match point, attempting to execute here onto this B side, and Logic gonna just scope out Kobe. Colby feels bad. I know that Visalt again gonna make things a little bit rough. Only so much you can do with the classic, but Cake Munch are gonna have to try to make it work at 1v5. But match point, there's no saving. Finds 1, finds 2.
He's gonna hear them on the side. Information given. They know exactly where Cake Muncher is. And they know they have it. And Logic.
Attackers win.
I mean, we saw Colby so often just removing people out from the middle of the sky. And, you know, Logic says anything you could do, I could do better. Finally gets op in their hands on the fade and brings one back to him. An insane performance there from Logic. Incredible performance from Kinetic to secure that map. And very, I don't want to say dominant, but man, very convincing fashion at least.
Yeah, I mean, I think I mean, we do have to give it up to Logic. I mean, throughout the game, played incredibly, had an ace to boot, 4 plants. I mean, I think just did a great job on Fade. I think
Oh, yeah.
what I will say is I do think both teams though did a good job of using their util and kind of coordinating together. I do think though, I mean, I did like the comp better for Kinetic on Lotus, which makes sense, right? This was their map pick. And but I think when you talk about a team that can play cohesively together, and I know these teams are running with subs right now, so that kind of is something that you want to kind of consider just because, right? Like I would always rather, and I tell my teams this too, but like I'd rather have someone play an agent they're comfortable with if they're not going to be able to correctly use the utility for like a comp we run. Um
Yeah.
and that's just it at the end of the day. But I do think that the kinetic comp just worked a little bit on Lotus, at least when you kind of consider how these teams are playing, right? Especially,
Yeah.
you know, I think being able to put up so many rounds in the defensive half, right? You have the Vise kind of as your sentinel, you have that fade raise kind of combo, double controller. I think that also helps, you know, when you're attacking as well, especially on an attack sided map. But if you can put as many rounds up as they did on your defensive half, you're chilling, you're smooth sailing going into your attacking half. So yeah, I think good things from both teams. But at the end of the day, it was 13-7. This is only map 1 in a best of 3, so there's still time for for Skyline Otters to bring it back. I don't think this is like the end of the world. I don't think they can improve from here because I did see good things from them as well.
Absolutely. This is also going into Ascent, which is the map that they were able to take off of Prosperity. So this is definitely not a down and out situation. I even said that this was the map that Kinetic kind of needed to win if they really wanted to have a shot in this. So I don't think this is a death nail for either team. I think if anything, this just makes it even more believable to me that we're going to be going all 3 games. But that being said, before we get into game 3, we have to get into game 2. But we're going to take a quick break. So don't go anywhere. We're going to be coming back with game number 2 on Ascent between Kinetic and Skyline. Just a couple of minutes. We'll be back. Game number 1 picked up by Kinetic, which was their map pick of Lotus. It's what we kind of expected and what they needed to really have a good chance to take us to game 3, because we are pretty confident in this Skyline team going over to Ascent, taking down one of the top teams of Prosperity X in week 1, 13-7 here. So I'm expecting this one to be a bit of a banger and take it to game 3. But Kai, what are your thoughts as we are about to jump in?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, they did win on Ascent earlier. I think they have the chance to do that again. But then again, right? We're talking about a map like Ascent. This map has, for better or worse, been figured out and by most teams.
False,
Everyone
you
knows
could
how to
say.
play Ascent. We see it all the time. So especially after what we saw in Lotus, I'm not expecting this to be easy for Skyline. Even though, yes, they did take this map off their team last week. I mean, Kinetic looking good, feeling good, and I'm sure coming off of Lotus are ready to run it down
Oh, yeah.
again here because I don't think Kinetic wants to bring it to map 3. They want to close it in 2. They want to go home, and I don't blame them. So, yeah, I think, yes. Do I think Skyline has a chance to bring it to Haven? Do I think they have a better chance on Ascent? Yes, maybe it is their map pick. They did win last time, but I think they have to go into it knowing that, like, hey, this is not a free game whatsoever. This is not a cakewalk. Like, we have to be locked in if we're gonna go on to Haven.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you did say, this is kind of a solved map. There's a couple of variations. And actually, yet again, I think we see a pretty big change with the Skyline Otters team. Obviously, that Waylay is being reoperated, I think, by someone else. I don't think Elaborate was the Waylay in the last game. So that's something to note. Colby also swapping over to the Neon. So not the opping role of, like, maybe say like a Jet, which you would probably see more going from a chamber, coming from a chamber. But it's a lot more standard coming out from Kinetic. I think the big thing is the fact that they're running the double Sentinels. That KJ and Chamber is a very powerful duo. It's, I think, two of the best Sentinels in the game. I don't think Vice has a lot of play on this map, so I think these are the best two. But I mean, Omen, most played controller in the entire game across every map. Sova and Jet are classics. So besides that brief change of the double sentinels, I think everything else is pretty bog standard. But I mean, there's a reason it's bog standard on this map. It's because it's really good.
Yeah, I do want to correct one thing though. Elaborate did play Waylay last map, and so I think just has that comfortability. But yeah, lots of shots again. I mean, I think we expect these pistol rounds to be fast, to be furious. That's what's happening. All down to Logic finds one.
Spike planted.
And we know Logic able to isolate, able to hit these shots. So I wouldn't say it's over just yet. I'm sure Elaborate and You're the Cat starting to feel it. Oh, just kind of inched out and saw the shoulder of one. You're the Cat wrapping around. Going to find Logic there and put the first round on the board for Skyline.
Yeah, that's a nice piece of momentum as well. Logic doing very good, catching like the coattails a little bit of the player sitting in the back of Boathouse, but just is unable to do so. Actually, almost got the 180 hospital. Like, I don't know if we saw that, but the shots going just a little bit wide on the flank there. But Logic isn't able to secure that kill. And actually, looks like we're getting a bit of pack mentality here. The defense going to not really buy much besides Sheriffs, are just going to sit and stack on B, but they're going to be met by a very aggressive push from this attack. It's going to be a 5-on-5 just brawl here for the site.
Yeah, I kind of love these like gamble stacks, especially when you're kind of like down weaponry.
Last player
But again,
standing. Thrifty.
Yeah.
right? You're going against a team like this. It's tough. It's tough.
I'm sorry. I was just like, yeah, no, absolutely. That makes absolute sense. The attack wins because they just bought. That was actually a thrifty.
Yep.
That's another round in which it's the first round won by Skyline, and then despite a clear disadvantage in gun power, it's won out by the side of Kinetic. Okay, so Kinetic are going to be doing really good going into this. Go, what you say?
I mean, I was just gonna say, right? Like we saw them gamble stack there on B, and that's exactly where they. I mean, they pushed right in. Nice.
Now with the rifle advantage.
Oh,
okay.
Quick 4K from Fell. Close. 20 HP left here on You're the Cat.
Yeah.
Logic gonna clean that up. Beautiful, beautiful. You love to see it.
So nice quick rounds, by the way. Insanely quick rounds. I don't know if either or any of them really have gotten past like 30 seconds, as everyone is just playing super aggressively. But that is going to be second round on the board now. But being said, there was a little bit of an investment coming out from the side of Skyline. So yet again, it's not going to be a full buy, but Colby now on the Neon, obviously not going to pick up the Outlaw. Instead, going to go for the Bucky, which is a high-value gun on an agent like this. Bladestorm being caught by Fell immediately after that 4K. Colby finds two with it. Logic, though, now on this chamber, using the operating the op, you could say, is going to find one in response. So not down and out yet.
Spike planted.
Yeah, good question. Like you said, that Bucky puts in a lot of work. Logic. Just trying to stay alive and can't quite do that. Boopy finds one.
Last player standing. One
So
enemy
much to work
remaining.
around. All down to Droopy Booty Whiffer. Sees one main. Time is ticking. Knows exactly where You're the Cat is. Sees that gun. Poking. Knows when they're gonna swing. But time is just ticking and You're the Cat just kind of playing with their food here.
Yeah. Pros don't fake, and they
Pros don't
finally are getting into a position, but it's just so awkward. I mean, I believe, yeah, also the the clove, just the ability to put smokes down after dying, it really helps out with that post plant setup that they had. It just becomes an almost impossible task for them. So, I mean, incredible play from Droopy. I mean, we haven't seen much of them so far in this series, but that was the first, like, I think 3K that we've really seen them get. They've been consistently getting kills, just none to that big playmaking effect. And if it's any other situation than that, really, I think they could have won it out. Fell yet again trying to be aggressive, but because of the way that util gets slowed, is not able to get out to safety, and then Colby runs in with the shotty to clean up the mess. And that is just going to be sight completely secured by this attacking side. And now Kinetic, a very awkward spot here, having to retake in a 3v5.
I think we also saw this on Lotus, where Kinetic is not really afraid to give up sight and let that plane go down.
Last
And granted,
player
it is
standing.
still pretty early on, but it's also Ascent, right? Like, I think
My ult
you
is
kind of
ready.
need to have a more coordinated way to retake, especially on a map like Ascent. Because if you're just gonna give up sight, and granted, it's not intentional, but I mean, that's tough, right? Logic holding up to not trying to get some of these exits, but at the end of the day, right, you're in a 1v3, they're going to be able to wrap you. So even if that shot didn't come off, you still have Colby wrapping you from behind.
Yeah.
I think Kinetic might have their work cut out. Especially too, I mean, defense is like the better half here on Ascent. Like, you
Yeah,
should be able to hold down side a little bit more, but you have people with these, like, you have these agents with this crazy movement. Like, you have the waylay to dart in there, and of course Colby on Neon is able to just kind of like run around and just kind of bamboozle you. Tough. Bell does find one. Here's that op shot too.
Okay. Those go out the side for the defense. I like the small adaptation that they have, but here the cat has the operator. Doesn't mean nothing when Fell is there with the Vandal. Just completely removes them. Coke Zera is going to use the revive. TP, I don't know if they'll have the free. Do they think to check it? No, they don't. BWV in a very awkward spot is able to jump away. Colby, last player was standing, not the revive play, so has full shield, but shot through the wall, and that's it. It's chaotic, but it's Kinetics, and I do actually like the adaptation there. I mean, we've been seeing Fell push out of A super aggressively, and in the last round or two, it's been shut down. So rather than, you know, just start playing back and play defensively, they swap the roles and have Chamber do so, because Chamber has that teleport, so they cannot be slowed, which forces them into an awkward position. It just means it's a free get out of jail card, which now forces an adaptation coming out from Skyline. Very good play from both teams here as they start getting used to each other on this map.
I think Colby just has such a great understanding of like how an agent like Neon plays, which is so fun to watch because, I mean, they also look great on that chamber there on Lotus.
Yeah, they are.
I think just fundamentally being able to play around your utility is such an important part of a game like this.
Clear Jets. Okay, Droopy, finally. A little bit of poor timing there. If they caught someone red-handed, that might have been a
Spike
different
planted.
outcome, but there's really no means of exit for them. Now meaning it's a 4v5. Convergence is going to be invested here. Elaborate swings through, but Coke Zera is the one to find it. Oh, do they check? Oh, that's a terrible spot. VWV is going to find one, but they're stuck between a rock and a hard place, and they're not even aware. No,
enemy remaining.
don't do it to him. No, not the double knife. Oh my, it's a tragedy.
That just feels bad.
Someone
That
call
just
Shakespeare.
feels bad.
It's a tragedy. Someone call Shakespeare. You can't. It couldn't be worse. Terrible. Unfortunate. No good, very bad day, in fact.
Oh, that just feels bad. But I mean, also, it kind of goes down to, right, we've seen them do this other rounds, and like, yeah, they were able to get it behind them and knife, but you're in this position where like, you're just kind of letting them like wrap around you. And you're just kind of getting stuck, and then you have these agents with this movement ability that they're able to do that. They have the man advantage, and it's like, what can you do? You can't allow yourself to get pinched like that.
Absolutely not. But then again, more aggression from this attack side. Oh, and maybe a little bit of tomfoolery happening there. Cost them a little bit extra. That doesn't matter. Cake Muncher on the revive,
Here.
immediately finding a kill as well. So, oh, Logic. Oh, no. Logic's been firing on all cylinders so much. Okay, there we go. Making up for it.
Colby was just baiting that out.
Missing the skidding shot.
Colby was just baiting that out too. You can see it.
One enemy
Okay,
remaining.
I thought Logic was the opponents there. Logic yet again in a very, very tricky spot. Does the smart thing. Very intelligent move. Gets rid of that operator. It just doesn't hand anything over. Knows that they're falling in that 1v3. And, you know, sends it to the next round. Obviously, very low buy here coming out from Kinetic, as that was a pretty heavy buyout in the last round.
You know, I think another thing is, like, this is a double Senti comp they're running. And, like, we haven't seen a ton of this, like, Sentinel utility for holding down a site. I think that also just kind of has to go with, like, the play style of a team like Kinetic. But, like, you would think it would be pretty tough. And I know, like, Chamber's kind of more of an aggressive Sentinel, but, like, you still do have that trip. Which I'm not saying we haven't seen, but... It's like when you have agents like Waylay, like Neon, like you don't have to respect that utility as much either.
Okay, they're just movement diffing them now. Colby coming alive. Got the finger gun of doom. It's not even needed for the last one, but 3K on the round from Elaborate as well. I mean, just so much movement tech and just so much pressure being put onto this defensive side that they're struggling to deal with. I mean, we're continuing to see a bit of that aggression. I mean, Logic pushed out into a main there, but isn't able to find the shot into Colby, who is running around like a rat covered in oil, just cannot catch them for the life of you. And it just makes it so difficult for them to deal with. They lose A immediately, and even on the retake, they're just being pressured. So it's very rough. We see yet again a lot of control mid, which we have not seen from this defensive side. I think that might be something Kinetic might need to start playing for. Being said, Chamber very, very deep into that A main. There's a possible flank angle here, or at least maybe catch someone off guard.
And we'll see how that goes. Playing a little bit slower, but Fell able to find the first two, and Logic waiting for one more coming.
Okay. Had to read.
One enemy
You're the
remaining.
cat, though.
Spike
Just
down.
swings through. And the shot is not enough. That's a very nice response off the back of an incredible play there from Fell, and then the flank from Logic. It's clean, but you definitely do want to see a little bit more adaptation. Like I said, maybe a push into mid might be needed here, because you're not going to be able to get away with something like that twice in a row. And if you do, then my God, the other team deserves it.
I mean, I think that came down to just good positioning from Kinetic in patience. And yeah, I mean, I don't think they're always just gonna feed into you like that, but very, very, very good positioning. One thing around, and Fell gonna go right in. You're gonna go right into Fell's crosshair. Finds one, finds two before getting punished for it. Kinetic once again have these numbers.
Take flight.
Okay. Here's a 4v3, but we do have that Chamber who's just sitting over in B main. Just anchoring that site, waiting for any, like, official push in. And that's going to be the push, though I don't know what they were trying to do. Boopy just executes them. And now, stuck in A main. I mean, they have no information on this Chamber, so they're not going to want to push out. It's just a very, very not fun spot. Cake Muncher is going to find Boopy. It's going to give them a little bit of leeway, make it a 3v2, a lot easier for them to work with. Door's going to fall. Spike has not been planted yet. They're going to plant very deep in the site.
Spike planted. Last player standing.
Okay.
Enemy
Landed,
remaining.
and now
My
all of a
ultimate is
sudden
ready.
it's a 1v1. Elaborate with an operator in hand, and that paranoia already used and expended.
Gonna fall back here.
Elaborate with a nasty 3K with
Last
the
round before
operator.
the switch.
And with that, that's actually a 1-2, I think it was a 2v3, 2v4 there. It's a massive play from them. Gets them yet another round on the board. I mean, 7-4 now is the count. That's a insanely good performance for the first half, regardless of whether they win this last round. I think they'll be feeling really good here.
I mean, I think they should be feeling really good regardless, especially going into their defensive half.
Absolutely, a lot of investment immediately into A site here. Otters Fury, though, doesn't really find anything. And Boopy is just holding this site down. Coxera revives, but at what cost? They're going to fall. Cake Muncher as well. The revive does go through, so there's still 2 left standing, but
One
that
enemy
into the
remaining.
shadows from the back line
down A.
just completely shuts off any means of egress. Now Elaborate with the operator being hunted down. Man, chaotic round, but it goes
Switching
the way of
sides.
Kinetic, giving them a little bit of momentum going into the second half.
I think Kinetic, I mean, again, I think that came down to the last couple of rounds. They started figuring out the positioning and the tempo at which they kind of need to hold Skyline at bay. But what you have to wonder is, like, is this too little too late? Like, are they going to be able to capitalize off of it at the side swap now that they're on attack? Which, again, I mean, I do think this is a pretty defensive-sided map, but I don't think they were quite figuring out what they needed to do defensively until kind of some of those last rounds. So hopefully for them, their attack side's better. Otherwise, we're going to Haven.
Hey, and actually the Frenzy getting pulled out here, not typically used, but on the attack side with the Jet, and they're playing aggressively. They're going to take it. Cake Muncher's going to find one. Actually, it looks like it's practically a full Frenzy buyout. Man, what is this,
Spike planted.
2022 or something? Man, everyone's using it. Logic catches them looking, and now it's a 2v4.
Not ready yet.
Spike
We're
is
going
planted
out.
so deep on the site. I don't know about that smoke. Gives them a means of entry on the site. 3 are all sitting in hell. They're all waiting for them. They're all right within 10 feet of each other.
There they are.
They're not aware. That dart's going to give away information. Still no idea where the cat is, but that dart is going to give that up. The cat doesn't see them all, but it doesn't matter because it's just a firing squad. VWV is the player to actually secure the kill, but that's a nice clean round on the attack side. That's perfect. If they can confirm their eco as well, so because the last 2 eco have gone the way of the team that wins the pistol. If they're able to break that trend, get a second round on the board for this half, they'll be feeling really good. It'll be 7-7. It's like that first half never happened.
Soren, what's the scoreline right now?
6-7. Oh my god, I hate you.
6-7.
The moment I said it, I knew what I said. I thought I said something wrong, or I was looking at the wrong team. God, Elaborate. Picks off Fell, who gets caught up in the slow. Now I'm angry. And Logic sit in the back of the Outlaw. Obviously, first kill going over to the defensive side is very nice, Elaborate fighting that, but they're very much down in terms of firepower. So it does feel a little bit like a matter of time, especially with Logic going crazy with the Outlaw. Now you have the Cat, Coxera, both sitting with Sheriffs, non-full shields, a regen, and a light. I do think they fight for this, but it's just not a great position for them to be in.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. 4K from Logic with that Outlaw. That's tough to work around. But again, you know what? I'm kind of the belief that I think any damage you can do on a save round is good damage. So you got 2 guns out of hand. Now, obviously, it's better to win a round. Kinetic knows this, and they've had many a thrifty in the series alone. But you know, the ability to take 2 guns out of hands as you're going into your buy up. I mean, that's something
Focus
to be
now.
stated because
I
now,
listen.
you know, Kinetic going into the bonus, 2 sheriffs.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a nice little boost.
Coming through.
Oh, Colby is going to be spotted. I don't think there's really anything they can do. He's going to be able to get away with the slide. Okay. It does give a lot of information to Xera. Now drop that wall. It's not going to be broken. That's going to allow the Neon to get back into that spot. I don't know if they're going to expect this re-hit, but at the same time, the attack side coming off. Colby tries to get him through the crack. But the Buckets can't find it. They expect the Grim Wall, and it's just not great for him. Droopy finds that kill. Man, there's so much aggression, and it's all going the way of Kinetic here, as this, again, is the bonus. This should be their round to lose, really.
Oh my
Player
gosh.
standing.
All down
No,
to
it's just
Lab right
elaborate.
here. On their buy up, too.
Gun
Like
here.
we said, not quite a thrifty because it was a bonus. But, man, I mean, Kinetic just
This place is nice,
seem to
but
do
not
so
nice enough
well
to
when
die
they're
in.
down those weapons.
Let's
And I
win and
think
get
it's
outta
because,
here.
like, I think when you're kind of down in firepower, you have to be a little bit more scrappy. And I think that's kind of like a groove that Kinetic really thrives in.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, 8-7, the round count. Kinetic, I mean, turning the entire game on its head. That is a round that they are really supposed to lose. They did not really invest much into it. And in the end, it's a massive round win. There's 2 hero rifles and the judge, so it's a scattered buy, but they're gonna try to force the hand of Kinetic, and that's gonna be, I mean, a pretty good start. I don't know if Fel was expecting that buyout. It does also mean that Phantom is now they're taking. Bulldog is also picked up, so now 4 rifles. Those 2 kills going the way. It's a very good response.
Shots coming out. Quite a few hopped up your mid. Looks like Cake Munch are kind of stuck in a rough place, but with that kill there, are able to keep pushing through, upgrade their weapon. Lots of space is taken here. Bomb still down mid. Boopy picks it up, but Cake Munch is hunting.
Shocking. Start good.
Colby does catch them and has the shotty in hand.
Spike down
The movement
mid.
tech can't
Last
save you
player
there.
standing.
With that being said, VWV is enough, but it's by the hair of their chinny chin chin.
Literally 1 HP.
One
Literally
health.
1 HP.
Okay, I was gonna comment on how there was, I think it was a 3v4, but VWV is so low and just enough. Just having an extra body
Literally
is
the
enough
bare
to win the
minimum.
round.
The bare minimum HP. Like,
Also, no, I don't think had any util available to them either, so it was 1 health and a dream to secure the round.
I'm out of here.
Oh
Deploying
my.
drone.
man, that's incredible.
Logic, again, with an incredibly influential pick, still rocking the Outlaw, is going to immediately put them on the back foot, into the shadows, invest it to get into the back of B. Finally, here the cat deals with Logic, but now they deal with the rest of the players. Fel pushing on the site, the revive coming out from the globe, a very awkward position, immediately falls, and now Fel, last one standing. I don't know if they have any information, but certainly don't have the spike sitting back in B main. The read is there, but the shot goes wide. Fel, 3 kills on the round. They know where they are, but the movement tech's too much. Colby again with the masterclass on Neon secures the round.
Charge and shoot. Easy enough.
I mean, there's nothing worse than like a
Go, go,
Neon
go.
with good movement. Honestly, I mean, they're so hard to get, and especially like someone like Colby. And then
Gotta go.
you consider like players with like really low sense trying to
Go, go, go.
track a movement heavy Neon who knows how to hit their shots. That's so
Keep up.
so rough. And I think Colby is just such
want to
a great
play?
player in
Let's
general. But
play.
I really do think, I mean, if you're gonna play an agent like Neon, especially on a map like Ascent, you have to have the movement down. And I think Colby's got it.
Yeah, absolutely they do. As they make a lot of noise over towards A. It does actually draw, it draws a full rotate. There's no one sitting on B. There's two sitting back towards spawn, but that's gonna be a lot of room given up, and Kuxera is actually not expecting this whatsoever. Booby's gonna be the one that capitalizes on it. The quick rotate's gonna come through, but it might not be quick enough. They try to push one in the CT, and they get caught out, and now Sight is just theirs for the taking. It's a 5-on-3. I mean, Tour de Force is in effect as well. It's gonna be a very strong hold to try to push through. And Colby with that tech finds two, giving the team a little bit of hope.
One enemy remaining.
Just in perfect position for the backstab. And that's it. Clean round, double digits yet again. The first team to hit it here. Kinetic looking good after swapping halves.
You know, I'm thinking there must have been some like miscommunication there on the side of Skyline somewhere along the way, because you're right. I mean, it just looked like Kuxera wasn't expecting them to be out B main when we had seen how much space that Skyline was able to take mid. They saw no pushes coming out through A. They didn't really take a lot of space out through A, but they knew no one was pushing on site, and then we watched Cokes go all the way around to that B site. So confused what the call was there, but all good at the end of the day. It's gonna be a turret kill. Bell finds another, now another 3v5.
Yeah, I mean, I really do feel like the aggression. Oh, Colby's not gonna be spotted. Very good. I do really think that the aggression coming out here from Kinetic is being a real big factor. I mean, the last, like, it feels like for this entire half, they have constantly been the team to get that first blood, and it is so crucial to get it. It's not just, oh, you get the kill, so then it's going to be a 4v5. It's the fact that you're constantly putting yourself in an advantage so early in the round that there's very little that the other team can do. So yet again, like you said, a 5v3 situation, and it just keeps whittling down, making it a 5v1, as there's just Colby left. And I do think they pop. No, they've not popped the ultimate. So the ultimate is still available for them, but I don't think they want to invest it. They're gonna get that kill. They're gonna try to get more, and they almost will, but it's not quite. 11 rounds down the board for Kinetic, and I mean, you said it was a defensive sided map, and I agree. I think it's pretty close. I do think it leans defense, but you would not believe it if this was your first game of Ascent you got to watch.
No, and I'm surprised actually that it's going this way. Not that I don't believe in kind of Kinetic's ability. I mean, I think they showed on Lotus, and again here that they're such a great team. But
watch me.
I think especially on their attacking half, we saw so much come out from Skyline. This is their map pick. They kind of seem to be doing a good job, and it's like, I don't even think, again, I don't think they're a bad team. I think it's just like some misreads, losing a couple gunfights, and when you mix that all together, your economy buildup's not quite there. A little bit rough. Lots of noises here over towards B though, so Skyline should have a little bit of information. Look how much space they've been able to take now. They have Waylay there, posted up mid. Knows no one's pushed out quite yet.
Everyone's kind of trapped into this B main position. Fell will find one, but Logic shot goes wide. This staple for this game has been Logic outperforming everyone else in the lobby, and man, it's just so unfortunate there. That could have easily turned the entire round on its head, but now, I mean, Fell, highest KDA in the lobby right now. If you want a player left standing that's not named Logic, who has those clutch genes in them, it's going to be Fell. Fell's very clearly a very valuable option. Also has the Sova to play off of, but will they think to check logs? It's a very tight angle.
One enemy remaining.
No, they won't, or at least they're not going to see it in time. Cake Bunch are the one to close it out, and that's a very good look as that gap starts to close here on to Kinetic. Skyline, very good response. It looks like they're starting to get their feet out under them.
Yeah, 11-9. I mean, I think all things considered, a little bit closer than I thought we would be headed towards. I think that was a must-win round there for Skyline. And if they can kind of keep that momentum going, I think they have a chance to put a couple more on the board. That being said, right, I mean, you've lost so many. The ultimate economy kind of built up here for Kinetic, and of course, not just regular economy, ultimate economy as well. We already heard those knives being popped out, but 2 ultimates here on the side of Skyline to try to even that out. Still have the numbers.
Absolutely, and Logic must have heard me giving them a little bit of crap for whiffing their shot.
Oh.
What? How does that not hit? That on my screen, that was center mass. Okay, Logic at least fighting the 2 before, giving the team the advantage. There's a lot of guns to be picked up and secured. Killjoy ultimate is massive. That is going to force the defense back, puts them into a pretty awkward position. You're the cat as well, not up on the top side of heaven, so that means they're going to be stuck in hell for this push out. But the team's got their back, and the spike has been dropped on site. A now has to be the destination, but they need to find it, and they're not yet finding the kills onto the site. But Droopy, 1v1, it's so close, but Cake Muncher, yet again, being the team to draw their team over the line, gets them to double digits. They're not out quite yet.
It's so close because I feel like these rounds are so like back and forth, and I think like one team has this round and then another team comes back, and then a mistake from one, and then like good shots from another, and a whiff. Like it's just so back and forth. I mean, that was a good KJ ultimate, but the thing is, you have to know, right, when, especially because everyone had kind of conglomerated all over to that A site, you have to know if hell is open and heaven, and we're not smoking that off. You have to be expecting shots from there. Really good shot from Elaborate to shut down Logic.
Kills get traded out back and forth, but yet again, that first blood so important now to push into
The
a shot. He's not finding a kill, but just ripping through the armor and the health there. And now
enemy
the first
remaining.
bloods go the way
Spike
of
down,
Skyline, and the kills follow suit. Now Droopy has like no health to work with, has to go and pick up the spike, and it's just that 11 to 11. Kinetic, I think what they almost had, yeah, out of the first, was that 7 rounds, they pick up 6, but after that streak, they've lost 3 in a row. The momentum is gone now. Everything they got back after that half switch is just out the window.
And the problem is they had such a hard time there on their defensive half that they don't have that kind of buffer of these rounds to kind of work off of. So just like that, yeah, they won 3 in a row here, and already we're tied at 11. And that's, I mean, that's just a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, absolutely. It does look like A is the choice of site again, but Elaborate actually falls, so the operator not finding any value. 2 on the defense. Go down. Colby in a position. Can they sneak under the door? No, they won't. We'll give away the location, as well as the fact that they have a shoddy. I'm expecting a play for long here, because playing on site with that shoddy is going to be a very difficult task. They got 1 playing in hell. It's a very interesting hold position. Its logic is kind of an awkward spot. We'll find one before falling, though. The TP out does secure them. Into the shadows, actually, gets them back into their spawn. They can play this smart. No tap yet. Droopy catches them looking. They don't expect the wine. And now plant it for them. They're going to just try to throw stone, fake it, but they can't. The shock dart's the thing that gets it. And that's it. Boofy with the final kill. Everyone falls, though, which is very interesting. Interested to see how that's going to affect the economy. Yeah, that's not a great situation for Kinetic, who have now hit map and series point.
No, I think they definitely would have liked to be able to buy a little bit more logic, of course, as that ultimate online, so a little bit to work with there. But at the end of the day, you know, if you all need to die to secure yourself around, like, they're just happy that they put 1 more on the board, and they want to close it out here. I think they're gonna have a tough time if this gets brought to overtime. But like you said, the economy is gonna be tough. Ultimate's coming out from both sides, and it's gonna be Elaborate to find Fell, though. maybe match point here for Kinetic. Man advantage not in their favor.
Fred, the Elaborate's going crazy over in main.
One enemy remaining.
The shoddy is enough. And Coke Zero on the flank. We're going to overtime here in game number
Switching
2.
sides. Overtime.
Oh my. I don't even know if the buyout would have made a difference. They did not catch that Sage on the flank, and they got punished for it super hard.
That's tough. That's tough now, though. Overtime, everyone kind of on the same playing field. That build up, that momentum won't seem to matter anymore. It's all about who's going to be able to put this first round on the board, and of course, you're going to have to convert the next one too. But you know, I know that Kinetic was the first to go to match point and series point for them as well, but I really feel like Skyline have just kind of had a better hold on this map. They let it get away from them a couple of those early rounds in terms of positioning, but they really seem to clean that up. I think it's going to be tough for Kinetic to bring this one home in 2, but they're going to try.
Yeah, I mean, Droopy does what they can to find Colby, who's just, yet again, causing so much havoc on this attack side. And with that, both players sitting on site do fall. Now 3v4. I don't know if they spotted VWV. They know at least Fell is there. They expect the 3 full-man push. How damage being dealt? Is it just stuck into an up spot? The shot dart, I think they kind of walk into it, and a tail is all this time. Logic against the world, and it's just not enough. Yet again, Logic has been so good, but they cannot win every clutch situation that they get stuck in. And despite an insanely good second half start, despite making up for a rough first half, and despite being the first team here to get the map point, it is yet map point, but now it's for Skyline.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really, really tough here for Kinetic to bring that back, because you, like, mentally that's got to be weighing on you. And like I said, I mean, I think Skyline has just kind of figured out their positioning, what they need to do. But I think Kinetic, I mean, I think they're very structured gamers. And I still think they play off of each other's util pretty well. So if they can just kind of lock in as a team, I think they have a good shot. But gotta make sure they're a little bit more coordinated this half. Let's bring it to the next round of OT if they want to bring this series home with you.
Yeah, very, very slow pace here. I mean, a lot more of a default. Obviously here, it is the side of Kinetic looking for that first blood. Something we saw them play for so often to start off that second half. But now, it's just a known factor. It's a known threat for the side of Skyline, so they're not going to give it over anymore. They're not going to play super aggressive. Elaborate did buy an operator, so does have that glass cannon in effect. And it looks like A is going to be the choice if they want to pay.
Down A.
Spike, though, was being held down on A main. But both players fall, so now they push through tree, but everyone's falling around them. It's a 1v3. It's not Logic. This time it's Droopy, but they don't have the clutch genes. And despite going down after the half switch, we're going to game 3. Skyline, bring it back 1-1.
We're going to Haven. We're going to Haven. But yeah,
every tier 3 Valorant game tends to go. It always feels like it's an overtime on Haven.
I have to say, though, I'm surprised that Haven's the decider, and like I kind of, in my mind, I feel like a team always picks Haven and then Ascent's the decider. So while I'm not surprised to see these 3 maps, I am surprised that Haven's the decider. But what better decider map? Everyone loves it or hates it. But we're going to Haven. We're going to map 3. We're going the distance.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I'm actually very interested here. Obviously, Fell now the player with the highest KDA, but we're yet again in a very similar position. And I meant to kind of talk about it in game number 1's post game, but I didn't bring it up. But I mean, usually when we have games, especially last game where there was a little bit more of a gap in the actual score line in terms of round count, you usually see maybe like one team has one player that just is not performing very well and they're getting capitalized on a lot. But every player had 11 or more kills. And it was pretty evenly spread. It was just the fact that Logic kind of went crazy in game number 1 that got them over the line. No player played badly. And we're now in map 2, and it's another situation like that, but where it's so close and both teams had players that were just kind of going crazy. I mean, the lowest kills on both teams shared is 16 apiece. It was such a close affair across every player in the lobby. It was really a game defined by inches. Like you said, I feel like I agree. I think this is a slightly more defensive map. I mean, if Kinetic get 1 or 2 more rounds on the defensive side, this series
Yeah,
could be over.
I agree.
So
And
easily.
I definitely agree. And I think like I guess you can argue that for either side actually though. I mean,
Yeah.
if they got and I mean I think I would even argue that like had Skyline kind of I mean it seemed like it took them a little bit to kind of like figure out what to do versus like I think when Kinetic was on defense, right? I think it was like we win a couple, Skyline wins a couple, we win a couple, Skyline wins a couple, but then all of a sudden we swap sides and we're thinking, okay, Skyline like did well first half. We're gonna be able to go into the second half. It'll be fine. I think it just took them a little bit to figure out like how are we playing, what's our positioning. Once they got in that group, they were solid. And so had they figured that out just a little bit sooner, I definitely think this game. I don't think it would have gone to OT. It obviously wouldn't. I mean, they just needed one more round, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, I think though again like two good teams. I'm not surprised this is going to map 3, especially considering how they play. But again, I do think it's going to come down to like what comps are we playing on Haven, and more specifically, like how are we playing around that
Game 3, the decider. Kinetic versus Skyline. Kinetic draw first blood on Lotus. Skyline, almost at times feel like they steal map 2 on Ascent, and it all gets determined here on Haven. Kai, what are our thoughts? What are we feeling going into this decider?
I mean, I can't lie. I am a Haven enjoyer big time, as many teams are. So, welcome to the
Oh, yeah.
club, I guess. But I'm excited to be ending this on Haven. I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be action packed. I think it's going to be a tough battle because, like we said, I think everyone likes Haven. Again, I was really surprised Haven came down to the decider here, but I think just based off of what we saw on the last 2 maps, especially when actually both of these teams kind of find their groove. I mean, I think both have the potential to really just kind of run away with the handful of rounds. So I think it's just about who's going to find that groove first and who's going to maybe adapt a little bit earlier into the map.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I do have a little bit of fear for Skyline here because Haven, obviously not a 1-for-1, but if there's any map that you're going to say is similar to it in the map pool, it is going to be Lotus, which they did have a pretty convincing win on. So I definitely
True.
think that does lean towards them a little bit. An attack sided map, 3 sites, very big, focus on rotation and how quickly you could rotate and how quickly you could pull defenders around. And I think Haven also thrives on that. So I do think if I were a betting man, I do think that I would lean Kinetic here. But that being said, stats are stats, betting odds are betting odds. Everything comes down to what actually happens in the game. We do see the agent select here, and I don't think there's anything that's that crazy. I think the ISO is a little wild, but I don't think it's bad here. I just don't think it's quite in meta as it used to be.
No, I mean, there was a period of time where every team was running, right, ISO
Yeah.
on this map. But I think as we've been kind of rotating some of these metas, I mean, we have kind of seen those nerfs and buffs come through ISO, and I still see a lot of teams play ISO, especially at this level. So I'm not totally surprised. I'm excited though with the double clove. I think especially in a smaller map too, it's easier to get those smokes out after death.
Standing ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of very valuable utility that Clove offers. I do also want to point out, I believe we actually have another sub here, Florentina V, now rocking the neon for the side of Skyline. So I can't think of who got replaced or who had to hop off, but they are now in play.
Right?
Yeah, Coxera, thank you. But over in a lobby, a little bit of a fight back and forth, and it does come up the way of the defense of Skyline here. That being said, Droopy catching Colby looking does even out the odds. 2v2 now. Everyone making their way over to A.
I always feel like when they're rotating so quietly, like I can't make any noise or they're gonna hear me, which is silly because I'm not in the game, but we're just playing a little bit of a ring around the rosy here on this A site.
Yeah, it's going to come down to the timing. Do they get spotted?
seconds
Especially because VW... Oh, that's almost pixel perfect. Okay, VWV so low as well. Now, the choice of where they would like to plant is going to be massive here. Because they have no information. Neither team knows where anyone is. And now that they start running at the same time, they're so far away. They did not
Spike
hear
planted.
the run, but they'll almost certainly hear the plant. They're going to come back through lobby. This attack side, VWV so weak. And they have no info on top of it.
Drop in a smoke.
I mean, I don't think I've ever seen rotation so perfect. I mean, they just really just went around in a circle. But they do know we're there, and like you said here, VW is very, very low, but not gonna matter. That overheal to come out instead too. Cake Muncher has to find two. A VWV.
The overheal. I was about to
Over
say, I'm pretty sure we
part where
just
they
saw Clove get domed and get a headshot there and didn't die. And I was going to say, how did that happen? And I forgot about Clove's overheal.
No charges.
So Clove actually
Charge up.
lives through that. I mean, that really is just a masterclass of Valorant timing. Just pixel perfect
No
rotation where
charges.
neither sides see each other, like two ships passing in the night, completely unaware of each other. And in the end, just some really good positioning on where they're going to plant the spike, where the Clove, who's very low on health, is going to play. And they both, it's just so clinical there. And Kinetic, yet again, I think, the first to draw blood. I think, actually, no, last game Skyline did, but they won the anti-eco, despite the rough buy from them. So now, with actual, looks like rifles in hand, yeah, there's actually a Vandal in the hand of the Clove. Big buyout. You would assume, unless there's some tricky plays coming out from Skyline, that this should be Kinetic's round to win.
Well, Skyline is still yet to get a thrifty pistol, so we'll see if they're able to do it this time. Seems to be Kinetic's forte, as it were.
Yeah, and now the push on to sight. The shots go wide. And Fortina,
One enemy remaining.
different map, different player, same neon. The movement tech goes crazy with the Bucky, but in the end, the rifle advantage, it's just a little too much as the rest of them fall on site. Now, Elaborate does hit that trip, so does give away some information. It pulls back a 3-man hold in the back. But they do expect a little bit of
Oh,
something.
nice.
Poopy, the one to meet them, but in the 1v1, Elaborate's able to do something. And now, with just a classic in hand, no means of getting an upgrade, has to die. I think at this point, I mean, yeah, you just died a spike here.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's never mind. Logic stays a little bit farther behind. Maybe Elaborate's not expecting it, but
What do we
very
learn by
close there.
fighting
But
ourselves?
with that, doesn't fall the
Thinking out
spike, gives a little bit of gold, gives a little bit of credits over, and I guess still does get the lost streak credits, but definitely, I don't know if it's worth handing 300 credits over to Logic of all players as well.
I think the goal was to, one, yeah, like you said, die to spike, and two, they picked up that Spectre, and I think they thought like they'd be able to hold that if anyone was sticking around, and unfortunately, just not enough bullets in the chamber, so that was a little bit rough having to reload in the open there, but like you said, at the end of the day, right, they're on their buy. They're on their buy here.
Stopping fire.
Absolutely, and because of that, it is going to be very aggressive. It's Wolfpack mentality as they run in. 1 for 1 so far, but Colby's now in the back of sight with the Vandal. The gun advantage
player
is in their
standing.
favor, but it doesn't seem to matter as they're
Spike
just
planted.
overwhelming them on sight. There's no way they do it again. Get the first 3 rounds. Elaborate finds 1, almost finds Droopy, but it's not enough. And 3 rounds on the board. The bonus is stolen away. And now they're going to be able to full buy with extra credits. They're going to be feeling really good on this attack side. That's a great start for Kinetic.
Yeah, I mean, their economy looking to be in a pretty good spot, and like you said, I mean, that's something that just kind of snowballs. We saw that happen too, again, earlier on Ascent. My gosh, so much Valor, and I can't even keep track of
No
what
peeking.
maps we've been to. But we saw that, I mean, we did see that on Ascent, where like one team was just able to kind of just like snowball and
Dropping a
continue that going, and it does make it tough to break that momentum.
Yet again, more aggressive pushes. Elaborate's doing what they can to fend it off, but on the Cypher, it's just not quite as maneuverable as some of the duelists that we've seen Elaborate operate. And with that, sight is secured. Florentina's going to be
Spike
spotted
planted.
by that trip. Sova's sitting back towards their spawn in the corner. I don't know what they're supposed to do in this circumstance. A lot of low
player
health
standing.
bars at least. Maybe something to work with,
Smart
but
move.
Florentina,
Go, go, go.
sheriff in hand, light shields. VWV is waiting for them, open arms. Florentina doesn't catch them. tries to shoot the low health Cypher and cost them their life. 4 rounds on the board. It was a very costly round, but that's still 4 rounds on the board. Great start for Kinetic.
They're able to keep this up. They should have no trouble taking this half away from them. But I mean, we did see this. This is exactly what we saw on Ascent, right? Like 6 rounds in a row, I think, before
Let's blind
the turnover, right?
Yeah, I think it was out of 7 rounds, they won 6. I think there was 1 round that was kind of stolen.
I think
away
it
from
was
them,
that
but
7th.
Very
It
similar.
was the 7th round.
I hate you. And Logic just made a 6-7 joke too.
Logic.
I
Logic
hate you.
listening. Logic heard me.
Here. But Hunter's Fury, invested by Year of the Cat, is not gonna really find anything. Elaborate does hear them stomping around though. The Logic absolutely going crazy with it. Aim Labs training for the double tap. They're expecting the Cypher in the back. Logic with that double tap shield, finding value, as even though they're found out, they're not able to get killed. And now, yet again, some low health bars. But at what cost? Colby, the last player standing, is gonna fall. And now that's 5 rounds on the board. Another buyout here. No one has enough for a full buy. This should just be number 6 on the board. A 6th on the board. It's looking very rough for Skyline.
Then maybe 7.
Hey.
Okay, here's my question though. I mean, what do you think? If you're sitting there and you're on Skyline, I mean, what do you think they need to change? What are they talking about, and what needs to happen for them to
out of
kind
my
of
way.
this round?
Shoot better and get kills. They are unfortunately losing a lot of fights even when they have the advantage, at least on the full buys. But here, they're also just struggling to deal with aggression. The aggression that we're seeing in full force. A little bit of chaos. Knives going crazy. Blade Storm and regular knives as well. Kinetic Cat does find 1. Trying to trade it out, but VWV hitting the 3rd for the 3K on the round so far. A lot of pressure being dealt now. I mean, Cypher has the neural network, but I don't know if it's worth the investment here. There's not a lot of low health bars, and the only one that was low just revived themselves. Shorty in hand, get 4, make it 5 for the ace. VVW.
Until the end.
They're playing Clove. They die, it doesn't matter. They want that ace more than anything.
It's gotta feel good. It's gotta feel good. Well, we did see one good shot come out from Skyline. And now, like you said, right, they have weapons. This would be the time for us to kind of see if they'll be able to keep that going. But yeah, I mean, this is really a must-win round for them, right? Because look at the economy over on the side of Kinetic. They can afford to lose this one and the next one and still be fine.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, another just a stack push. It is just pack mentality right now. Colby is gonna use the pop flash, do something. He's gonna find 2 off of it, in fact.
I know
2 for
exactly
2
where
in general. Logic, the player, to find the evening trade.
remaining.
But elaborate on
All
sight
right.
is a wall, and finally we get a round on the board for Skyline. It's off of some heroics from Colby and Elaborate, but sometimes that's just exactly what you need. At least a little bit of momentum to get your feet out under you and get you actually into the game so you can have a say. So great start here for Skyline.
And this is what happened to them on Ascent, and they were able to win the map. So, you know, all things considered,
This should
they're
If
still
I
in the fight for sure.
Where are?
I'm gonna throw something. If somehow, some way, Skyline win the next 6 rounds in a row, I'm gonna lose it, dog. I'm gonna lose it.
The next 6-7 rounds.
Cage trigger.
Here the cat finds the first one. The defense is holding out. Jet falling is a massive loss. ISO, very, very good duelist, but not seen as that, straight initiating duelist as a space taker. Jet is the one to fill that role more often. Sova has spiked here. I don't know. Yeah, that's rough. Poopy falling. Immediately VWV soon behind them. And that's rough. That's not great. No spike available. Logic's just hunting for kills now. Shots go wide. Oh, uncharacteristic of Logic. But, I mean, that is yet another round on the board for Skyline. And that massive, just pile of credits that Kinetic have been sitting on for the last couple rounds is starting to dwindle just a little bit. They're still going to have another round of buyout here. And maybe one more sketchy buyout if they lose this one. But the credits are very quickly slipping away from them.
Let's fly.
Well,
That goes there.
that's okay. They should be good for a little while longer. Look at that. I mean, they'll still be able to buy next. But hopefully for them, they're hoping they win this one here. See execute, able to quickly get their way on site, but it's going to be elaborate to find that first blood and just stall things a little while longer. Pops out and finds two more. It's a team effort here. All down to Droopy Booty Whiffer. Doesn't whip the first one. Looking for a couple more, but it's going to be Colby with the shorty to put the third on the board here for Skyline. And now, all of a sudden, that economy buildup that looked so great, I mean, really, really starting to get chipped away, and we're finally going to see a timeout come out. First one of the series as well.
Yeah, it is going to come out from Dr. Doom. Big fan. Big fan of Dr. Doom. Can't wait to see your Marvel movie, and I think next year. But does get the timeout out, which I think at this point, it's less so of a worry about the team, but more of a momentum switch. Obviously, losing 3 rounds in a row is not great for the mental, but they're still up 6-3. At this point, it's limit the amount of mental damage that those 3 rounds in a row could do to their own team, while also cutting out the momentum from Skyline. So I think it's a really good timeout here. I think it's a really well-timed timeout as well.
I 100% agree. I mean, I think this is perfect timing because, like you said, right, they kind of do have that momentum of the last 3 rounds. You don't want to allow them to kind of get any more of that, but putting the break here and kind of just like doing a little bit of a mental regroup and also, like you said, stopping that momentum. Definitely well placed. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I think they have the ability to regroup here. I think just taking that pause is enough that they really needed. But yeah, I mean, they should be able to come in here and kind of finish it out. But yeah, if they don't though, it's gonna be looking a little bit rough moving into the next round.
Gotta go.
Shock Dart lineup gonna be used to get info on a lobby, and actually a lot of space getting taken there. I mean, Breach sitting all the way up towards boxes. I don't know if the read is gonna be made. I mean, Jet's waiting, expecting a push up, but is unaware of the fact that it's already happened. As everything in mid has been secured, that Breach ultimate is gonna give away at least a general location, but I don't think Fell has the right read. No, they don't. 1-for-1 is Logic. Find one's on the other side of the map. VWV does find the trade on Colby though, so Breach is gone. B is the destination of choice, but they don't find Cake Muncher sitting in the shadows. Clove is not the one to fall, so no revive. It's gonna tap the spike, but not plant. 1 over towards window, 1 by CT towards C, and it looks like they're just gonna say, nope, we're not gonna try to get trapped in. We're gonna make our way over to A.
30 seconds left.
Well, they know one's coming from B, but it's going to be that neural uplink coming out here from the side of Skyline. That's gonna tell them exactly where the last 2 are. Of course, at this point, bomb's already down. There's enough time for them to reposition if needed, but they have no idea where Skyline's going to be coming from.
Yeah. Neural network is going to give away the location of the plant. Besides that, they only know the info. 1. You're the cat. It's going to take the swing, but it's going to go wide. Shock Dart, not Shock Dart. Dart is going to give away a little bit more information. 2v1. It's not winnable. Troopy doesn't have the clutch gene in him. And that is going to be yet another round on a row for Skyline. That's very dangerous. Part of the fact that that timeout was so well timed was that was pretty much the last round in which we were going to have like a very confident full buy coming out from the side of Kinetic. I mean, they'll still be able to get something on the board. It's just not going to be pretty. But man, finally, like I said, that heap of credits is gone. They're pinching pennies to get the weaponry they need to win this next round.
Well, I think, you know, if they can fight for an orb, which it looks like they might do, they'll have Fel with those knives online in terms of weaponry. And I think that was a pretty good round, like, especially considering how the last three had went. They got plant down, and they were able to bait out an ultimate from Elaborate. And again, which is huge. It's going to be up for a while. Lots of ults online here, but it's going to be
No hard feelings.
You're the cat to put it out and Elaborate. Finds the first one, which is Fel with that ultimate. Things looking a little bit dicey, but that rotate towards A already coming through.
Oh, that's so unfortunate.
There, though.
Spike down.
The canary in the coal mine is successful, draws the full rotation, all except one. Florentina, the last player standing on site, finds everything, and now I don't think Logic has it.
I don't.
Oh, the timing.
The timing again.
Just
But
enough.
still.
It's just it. They're gonna get the spike down. They're gonna get the extra ult point. But man, that was the full buy. They spent everything they had, and now they've got nothing to work with. And we're in a complete opposite situation. 5
Last
rounds
round
in a
the
row.
half.
And actually, we are gonna see one final buy. One final desperate buy here to try to prevent this from being a 6-6 half. Like I said before, this is also a more tactically set up map. 7-8, very similar to Lotus, is the goal. 6 is fine, but you definitely want at least 7.
I didn't say anything. Didn't say it. Almost did. But yeah, I mean, like you said, right? Able to full buy. At least this is the last.
It's you and me.
At least this is the last round in the half. Logic pulling out that ultimate. Here's the B hopping from Elaborate.
Last player
And
standing.
things looking pretty good here. For the side of Kinetic, you wonder where this has been the last
I
couple
know
rounds.
exactly where you
I'm
are.
not gonna lie to you. I tabbed out for just 1 second to read a message.
And that's all it took.
That's
all
it
it
took. I checked the message from our producer, and then I looked back, and then everyone's
Switching
dead.
sides.
So that is it. All I'm gonna say is, don't you dare win this phone. Don't you dare win this pistol. Don't do it to me. It will do actual psychic damage to me. I don't think my brain can take it. But it is a 5-7 half. I think that's pretty good. Very similar situation to what we actually saw in Lotus. I think
Yeah,
that's
well-
almost exactly what we saw in Lotus.
And you know what? Kinetic really saving your hairline, because I think you said you were gonna pull out all your hair if they Skyline won 6 in a row. So
Ready.
That wasn't a
Saving.
bet. That was just what my mental state would be.
Yeah,
It's a
I mean-
6-7.
My camera is destroyed.
yeah,
Okay. It is a
fast
aggressive
push here on
from
Steve. Not too surprising though. It is pistol, but
Spike planted.
Florentina gonna walk right into 2 of them through that smoke. No stun, no lethal or anything. Cake Muncher though waiting right on the other side of that breach stun.
Yeah, and Elaborate is going absolutely crazy right now. Obviously, was doing some work on the defensive side. 14 kills, or I guess 12 kills. Now 14 with that 2K on the attack side. Makes no difference. Guns fire the same way. I'm not gonna say it. I refuse to say it, in fact. It's another round on the board.
You don't need to say it. We all see it. We all see it, and we're all knowers. So this, you know what? I think this was intentionally for you. this is all done for Soren.
I have a really bad habit of caster cursing. I have a really bad habit.
Yeah,
of
you know what? I
happening.
was gonna say I do think you have done a bit of caster cursing tonight already.
I manifested it. If anything, I
You
really did.
manifested it. Yes, you did.
We do see a bit of
Well-
a gamble stack here. 4 on
Yeah.
C with one solo Sova set to hold the line. This is my perimeter.
Drop the spike.
This is holding the line over on A. I am my perimeter, and my perimeter is me.
I'm out of here.
How fitting, especially.
Go, go, go.
Let's see what's gonna go on. Now that's gonna be enough for Boopy to start calling in the rotates. Remember, the rotations are faster here for the attackers than the defenders.
Spike planted.
Absolutely. Spike is going to get planted. Luckily, the Sova did in fact give up his perimeter, walked away, playing for the retake.
I don't blame.
Now-
Yeah, I'm not gonna sit there alone while 5 push into me. And I have a classic in hand. Yeah, I'm waiting for my team.
Ooh, that Sova dart finds so many, but it means nothing. Even with the information, the rifle advantage, too much to overcome. Thank you for getting that godforsaken pair of numbers off my screen. It's 7-7. It is a tie game, and very similar to kind of what we saw. I think very similar to what we saw in game 1, where it was a 7-5 half. I actually think Skyline finished with that scoreline beforehand. But with 2 rounds on the board, first 2 rounds going the way of Skyline again. It's like it's a neutral game. No difference.
No, I mean this is really just Ascent 2.0.
That was intentional.
Spike down mid.
Warning shots.
That wasn't a
They're warning
misstart.
shots. They're warning. It was
That
a warning.
landing
It's like,
behind them.
it's like-
it's all mental tactics.
it is a mental tactic because it's like, hey, next time that's not where it's gonna go. You know. Next
Yeah,
time, be ready.
Absolutely. But 4v4 now. Players straight across the board, but just like that, despite what site you're looking at, is going to be another pair of kills. Now it's a 3-on-2. Making a 2-on-2 is Cake Muncher. Yet again, coming up massive for the team when really needed. And called upon, but the shots go
man.
wide. I catch the curse
One
it.
enemy
The
remaining.
information's given. Shot to the wall. Cake Muncher so low. Phantom in hand. Boopy has the spray
recognition
and
is
is going to
nice now and
confirm
then.
it.
Thank you.
Gets him over the line. But that was the bonus, and it cost everyone but one. Definitely a very nice round. I just want you to know that the delay for the stream has finally caught up, and I do see everyone in the chat going feral for 6-7. I hate everyone. I hate it here. But
No,
7-8, the bonus is secured at least.
Who's here on Ascent? Because I baited Soren so hard for that one.
Oh god.
So hard.
The entire
So
chat
hard.
is 6-7.
6, 7. Just like an entire edit montage of just the last 2 maps.
Oh my, Poopy. Playing in the space there, and Soars is going to find the first one. Back away, get that safely. As they hold now this A positioning here. Cypher sitting alone on B. But it still looks like A is kind of where they want. No, finally, a bit of a pull off. You'd imagine this is going to be going maybe garage into C. No, B. They just go B.
Blindly firing, but Drippy Booty not gonna find one.
Okay, Fell though. Off on the side is going to find it. Obviously, rifle advantage is going to be in favor of Skyline here. Bonus was picked up, but it was so costly that not a lot of credits left in the bank from Kinetic. 3-on-3, make it a 2-on-2 was elaborate yet again, holding the line for the team. Spike did end up making its way over to C. But elaborate, sitting in the smoke. You got to imagine they're expecting it. I don't know if they're going to
Last
catch
player
it.
standing.
He will. Colby sitting on site and then 1v2.
One enemy
Colby's done so
remaining.
well to keep the team in this. They find the one, but not the second. Fell on the jet yet again, putting up big numbers for the team, coming in clutch when necessary. It's going to be the 9th round on the board, and it's going to help him out in the economy as well. It's a big pickup. Actually, Fell is actually, you know, sitting at the bottom of their team right now. I mean, both teams have 2 players apiece, 4 in total at 8 kills, so it's not like terribly far behind. But Fell, top scorer, top of the scoreboard in game number 2, is now sitting at the bottom of it, going into the second half. It's crazy.
Crazy? I was crazy once.
I was crazy once. You are not gonna get me on that one. I'm a serial crazy enjoyer. I love that.
Serial crazy enjoyer.
Yeah.
That's
So I was
right.
locked in a room, a rubber room,
What kind of room?
rubber room with rats. And rats.
Dude,
make me
rats
crazy.
make me go crazy. Oh, a nice share shot from Cake Muncher there in garage and able to reposition back here on site. 2 down, and this is their save. Lots of damage being done with these sheriffs. Not quite able to recover those weapons yet, but look, they're on their way.
Good shot. Okay. Did pick up a phantom there in the process. I really thought they were going to do something more there. Logic going crazy. VWV catches someone off guard, but it's not enough. Spike plant on C, but Logic just doesn't have the read quite yet.
That was a save. That's
Yeah,
it.
big
Or a
50
bit of
round.
an eco coming out from, not quite a full eco, I guess, so not quite a thrifty, but I mean, you know, they didn't have the buy, right? They were
No,
on an eco
I-
round and still able to put in some work. You love to see it.
Which is really going to help him out because, again, that was really a very heavy round on the buy-in from Kinetic. So they are going to be rocking 1 person with light shields and 2 different people with sheriffs, and that is it. Very rough buy, very scattered buy from this attack, which is why we're seeing the attack mentality come through. Tina and Colby through the smoke just remove 2 players before they have an opportunity. Elaborate on the Cypher. I mean, Cypher has really no value when pushing onto the site, but is damn good at holding the flank. And Elaborate's doing their job well. Oopie finds 1 to get just a little bit of value, but I mean, rifle advantage, just a little bit too much to overcome there.
Nice try, though, nonetheless.
Oh, I'm so glad someone. Sorry, I still have the stream pulled up on the side. I'm so glad someone got a clip of me catching it being 6-7 from Ascent. I'm so glad it's clipped. It's gonna be on the internet forever.
Your digital footprint.
That's the legacy I want to leave behind. You see this attack now, very clearly aware that it's going to be an even buyout, playing much slower, and Oopie is going to die, but
I know
in that
exactly
process, Logic, very deep. Oopie dies for Logic there, but Logic is not able to get any more. That's rough. 2 players falling for this defense. We said it before, this is an attack side. 7 is the minimum, but you definitely would want more, and they were not able to get it. So now they need to pull extra weight here on the defensive half, and they're struggling to find the value.
Player standing.
Neon slide coming through. Florentina, the sub coming in massive for him here. And now Fell
planted.
actually invested the operator. That's a big buy for not a lot. The cam comes out, is going to give away the information. And that's it. Florentina's going to run them down. Don't think they're going to pick up the operator. Nope, they're not. They're going to keep the rifles. They're just going to do that massive damage from the eco. Yeah, that's a rough round for Kinetic. This is one of these rounds where I think, maybe not this one. Okay, I was just about to say where I would like to see a timeout. Maybe not this one because they're going to be on an eco. But it is important that they get something to maybe help out, get them back in the right headspace.
Yeah, and again, I think like another well-timed well-timed timeout because, right, they lost the last 3 in a row. And yeah, on kind of like that half buy again here before they get into the full one. But it's strange because I think the rounds they win, they do so like so convincingly. I mean, like, especially you consider like how this map started, right? I mean, playing together well, using their util, but then it's like they just kind of let Skyline get into this groove, kind of adapt how they're playing, and it's really hard for them to have an answer to that. And so yeah, hopefully they're able to kind of regroup with this timeout. I know it was a little bit harder last half, but I do think, I mean, on paper, Kinetic's a really good team, but it's just like once that kind of gets away from them, they have a hard time taking it back.
Yeah. And that being said, they do have the means to pull off wins here. They do have actually an advantage in terms of the ultimate economy. Right now, Elaborate just popped their ultimate recently, so they're sitting at 2 out of 7 points. So it's going to be a little bit before that Neural Theft is back online. But, I mean, there's still 5 ultimates to play for from Kinetic, and there's only 4 on the side of Skyline. So if we get into a trading war, it will come up the side of Kinetic. But that being said, it is yet another low buy. It's not amazing. We see the pack mentality come out again. A gamble stack on C. There is no Lone Sova holding down their perimeter over on A. It is just a hope that maybe if they stay quiet, hold out, they'll hit C.
Concussing. Blast.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. It looks like, though, those prayers will not be answered. They're heading towards the A side, and remember, it takes longer for that rotation to come over from Site C. Anyway, that gamble stack, like you said, did not pay off, but they have 5 ultimates to work around. They have lots of utility, maybe not quite the weaponry, but if they're able to kind of combo some of these ults, maybe could run away with it, but it's going to be tough, and time is ticking.
What's crazy? If I was crazy once. If they really wanted to, the Blade Storm tells me that they're not. But they could have probably just all died this fight. Yeah, no, they're just gonna get fed to the grinder. Florentina's gonna find 3. Fella's gonna do something with the Blade Storm, but there's just no time left on the clock. If anything, it might cause the death of Florentina. Yep, maybe even this breach if they don't get away. Okay, Elaborate will follow the process. Actually think it's pretty good. If they really were okay with letting this round go, or that last round go, there is absolutely a shout for them all just dying to Spike, because they would have gotten the bonus gold and not handed over anything. And they would have been pretty much at the same playing field, except they wouldn't have handed over any credits to Florentina, which I think would be a better position for them. So,
I mean,
risky.
they did take guns out, but like you also have to think that, like, I mean, I think the guns they take out are worth the credits, but at this point, you know, I'm worried about ult orbs. That being said, right, a lot of those ults already on the table, so it's really just Elaborate with the ult orbs you kind of don't want to feed. Not surprised though to start seeing ultimates coming out. Florentina though gonna find Boopy, using those ults to get onto site.
Yeah, the Sova also being the one to fall. It's not amazing as the shot goes wide for Fell. Logic though takes him into the other dimension. Kills go the way. Higmuncher does fall, does get revived, but here the Cat and Elaborate are doing work for the team, making a 1v3 VVW. It's a really rough spot, the 1v3. Spike is not down. I mean, they have the ultimate, but you can't do anything with it when you're the last player left standing. They're gonna plant very deep in the site, and then it looks like they might go for a flank play. There's the option. If Clove plays this a little bit too aggressively here, they'll catch the breach, and I don't know if they'll have time for a defuse, but at least halfway. That's gonna be very close. They win this. They gotta win these one-on-ones. They're separated. This is perfect for them.
Yeah, the problem is, do they know that? And do they realize they expect one there and spawn, but it doesn't matter. Elaborate gonna find VWV, and now all of a sudden it's Skyline Otters here on match point. And series point.
map and series point, and right now it is at best a scattered by from the side of Kinetic. I mean, they're gonna have a couple of rifles, only 2 Vandals, 1 regen shields, and the rest are all light shield. It is very sketchy. Can I just say Elaborate has been doing good. They've been doing pretty darn well the entire time, but they've not been like the go-to player for this team. But man, has been coming up massive. Also, got the operator on the Cypher. Crazy. Cake Muncher finds the first one. Hunter's Fury invest it. They're just all falling. 2 left standing. VWV, best player for Kinetic so far. He's going to find 2, but it's not going to be enough. Pops the Clovolt. Valentina, wow, gets their head removed from their shoulders from Droopy, but it's a 1v2. Almost impossible ask. I do believe they get a Phantom, so it's something. They'll have a little bit more armaments, but I think they also took a little bit of damage there.
I mean, if they're able to kind of isolate some of these, there's only 2 left. I mean, definitely has the possibility, and at this point, it's like you don't really have a choice.
Camera's also still on long, so they'll have information that they're not sitting long. Oh, spotted, unfortunately. That gives away Droopy's location. Shot through the wall. Is going to take a lot of damage. Still has a little bit of shielding. But it's not enough. They know where they are, and despite going down 0-1 in the series after losing Lotus, they come back with the reverse sweep to take the win. Wow, Skyline Otters 2-1 taking down Kinetic. Impressive performance from them.
I mean, they definitely deserve that one, especially, you know, like considering how Haven went and really how Ascent went. I think that was the turning point for me after Lotus. I mean, I got to be honest. I was kind of like a Kinetic believer. I mean, they looked solid. Things seemed to be going well for them, but yeah, Ascent definitely like a hard fought battle. It could have gone either way. Quite literally went to OT, but yeah, I mean, they definitely pulled it back here once we got to Haven, and really, I mean, it just you love to see it, especially considering right the first what was it the first 6 rounds they weren't even on the board.
Yeah.
6,
Yeah,
7
no,
rounds.
first 6 rounds. I hate you. No, but they won the first 6 rounds in a row. They then lost 5 in a row. They picked up the last one before the half, which got them to that 7-round marker. But man, it just wasn't enough. They kind of collapsed. They only picked up 3 rounds after those first 6. It was a little rough, but that being said, have to give massive shout out to both the top players, by the way, including Elaborate there, who's sitting at second. Florentina getting the MVP with better ACS, but 1 less kill. But I mean, this entire series, every time we swapped maps, a different player for both teams was on top of the leaderboard. It was a full it was a full team affair. Every single player had a say in this series. No one was underperforming. There was only incredible performances, no underperformances, which is a very rare thing to find in Valorant. Usually someone has a bad game, or at least to their expectations. That wasn't the case here.
I definitely agree. I think and I think even looking at the stat line, like you can see it, but I don't think it even quite shows exactly how much each of these players are putting into it, especially, you know, then we start to talk about the assists, and it's not just here on Haven, it was the entire series. I mean, looking at the assists, you know, you're the cat, like you look at the stat line and you're like, oh yeah, like 12, 13 there at the bottom, like they had 9 assists. Like incredible. Like I really do think this has been a team affair, and that's really what has like made or broken, but like that doesn't sound right. Make or break. But that is really kind of what this came down to is how you can play as a team and how you're able to answer what the other team is doing together. Very much a team game. Yeah, we saw hero plays from many a player, and that's just part of the game. But like, I don't think that's what it was coming down to. It wasn't coming down to hero plays. Even yeah, Kinetic may have lost the series, but you want to talk about map one on Lotus? Like, yeah, Logic respectfully went crazy, but that's not why Kinetic won Lotus, right? Like, again, it was a
Yeah.
team game. So I think across the board, I mean, we have two great teams, and yeah, okay, Kinetic didn't get the win this round. They got the win last week, and again, this is only the week 2 match for them, even though we're on week 3.
Yeah.
There's only one team that still is undefeated right now, and they haven't even played their week 3 map yet either. So I mean, these two teams really both are kind of sitting in a pretty good spot. I wouldn't count either one of them out, and I wouldn't be surprised to see either one of them move on to the playoff stage, because like I said, I mean, two really great teams. The series went the distance. We had an OT map. We went to map 3. I mean, you can't ask for really a
Yeah.
closer matchup. Yeah, and I mean, I'm excited to see where Kinetic goes. I'm excited to see where Skyline Otters go. I definitely two teams you want to keep your eyes on.
Yeah, absolutely. With that being said, though, we do actually have interviews coming up. But while we get them into the call and get everything set up, we are going to send it to a quick break. So don't go anywhere. Player interviews in just a couple of minutes.
Bienvenidos a Madrid. Eso no. We are here. Let's go. No confiaron, pero mira, no. Llego con los míos y la grada explota. Le di la razón al que me quiso ver bien. Lo soñé en mi habitación y ahora en primera me ven. No te hablo del avión. Vine por mi cinturón. Voy a hacer que recuerde mi nombre. No me importa cuándo ni dónde. Yo por esto la sufrí y aposté por mí como el doble. Yo no sé lo que es perder desde el 2000 y pico. Y si fallo, detrás tengo a mi equipo. No confiaron, pero mira, no. Llego con los míos y la grada explota. No confiaron, pero mira, no. Llego con los míos y la grada explota. No confiaron, pero mira, no. Llego con los míos y la grada explota.
Alrighty, we have our interviewee here, Angie, otherwise known as Cake Muncher. How you doing today? How you feeling after that incredible series?
I'm really tired.
I can only imagine.
That's fair, honestly. That's fair.
That's fair.
Yeah, I guess my first real question for you was, what was your guys' thoughts going from game one to game two? Because obviously, game one was a little bit rough for you guys. A little bit of a struggle on the second half. But you guys came into game number two very, very confidently. You guys had a really good first half, and then even when you started falling behind in, the second half, you immediately got back into it and you started winning those rounds and you were able to bring it to overtime and then able to win it. So what was there a mentality shift? Was there a big change that you guys did, or were you guys confident you were going to just take it from the get-go?
I mean, in all honesty, our Lotus was kind of like we just wanted to see like how good or bad they'd be, because like we honestly like we didn't really know who we were playing, so it's kind of like we just want to measure how good or bad they'd be, and so yeah, that's why we picked the Harvard comp. And so after like the Lotus game, we were like, oh yeah, I mean we're not gonna lose, so then we needed to lock it in for Ascent and Haven.
Yeah, I mean, guys definitely saw the lock in. And I think it was kind of interesting just like watching the whole series because I think we were able to see like points in each map where you guys did kind of lock in. And so I guess I'm wondering, there were a couple times I think on Ascent and Lotus, some of the halves, um, where like they kind of had, what is it, like 6 rounds in a row. I mean, they had that momentum and you guys were able to kind of just like break that and then, just start winning yourself. What, like, was there like a call from an IGL, or like what was the difference, and like how were you guys able to be like, okay, now we're gonna turn it around, now we're winning these rounds, after losing like half of them in each half?
I mean, the entire stream, I mean, we were just like, oh, I mean, the entire like game, we were just kind of like all giggles, like we were all just like laughing, having fun. Like even like when we were down 6-0 on Haven, like we were just all like giggles, and then we started like like actually like trying to win rounds, and so we got it to 7-5, and then the rest is barbecue chicken.
Barbecue chicken, I love it.
Absolutely. I do kind of want to talk about agents a little bit because I know you mentioned, that you were testing the waters, so you tried out the Harbor Cop on Lotus, but you guys were choosing some very interesting compositions. I think, I mean, especially with Lotus, Ascent, and Haven, those are pretty. I don't want to. Ascent's pretty solved, but Lotus and Haven still have pretty definitive team compositions that teams like to run. But you guys very clearly diverted away from that. Was that part of the strategy? You guys trying stuff out tonight, or is that were they comfort picks, or what was the thinking with some of those more unique compositions going into these games?
We just want to have fun, to be honest. Like we went into the game like knowing we were gonna win, and so like even if we dropped the map, like we just wanted to like have fun and play the game our way. I don't think any of us like really like want to be told how to play our game, or like I guess like we don't want to stick to the norm of how the people think the game should be played. So we kind of just like play our own game. But the like the Lotus comp, like that was silly.
It definitely was silly, but I mean, like you said, I mean, I think that we could tell that you guys were having fun, and like of course we were privy to game chat, so like we could also like visibly like see that. But yeah, I mean, I definitely think having that good mentality going into it, and especially a game that is going the distance, a series that's going the distance, and you have to have that stamina. I think having a good mentality is definitely part of it. Do you have a specific like? Do you have like a vibe merchant on the team? Is it just like, do you have an IGL that has to like calm everyone down? Like, or is it just like you guys are all always in a good mood all the time, never chill? Like, what's the secret?
No, I mean the entire time we were all just like we were all just like laughing, like we were all having a good time. Like
I love that.
Awesome. All right. I think last question for me at least. I've got to know. I like to stir a little trouble. I'm known for it. Okay, I'm a big caster curse guy. I like asking for
That's
people
true.
for call
It's true,
outs.
actually.
So I've got to know in the team room. Is there any teams in the competition you're like looking forward to playing? Any teams that you think you can knock down from a pedestal? Maybe who are you really excited to get to be across map from?
uh honestly no one. I don't think there's any competition in this tournament. We did lose the Skyline, but that's its not Skyline. We lost the Prosperity, but that's like its whole like other issue. But in all honesty, like I think Skyline and like maybe Catnappers are the best teams, but other than that, like I don't really think there's any other teams that are that great. But I do think this is a great tournament for those not great teams to practice and have something to do over the off season. Smile.
Smile. I love it. I love it. Those are fighting words, but like I love to see that, especially out of a competitor. So I'm so excited to see. I mean, I think just really follow your team's run throughout this group stage, and hopefully, I mean, you guys look like you're on track to go forward to the playoffs. So I think definitely have a few more fans after today, and definitely a team that we're all going to keep our eye on. But before we let you go, Angie, I mean, is there anyone that you kind of want to shout out, your teams, family members, friends viewing, anything else you want to add before we say goodbye and give you your much needed rest?
Shout out to Spaceboy, the org owner. I mean, yeah, shout out Spaceboy and shout out Colby because they also wanted me to glaze them in this interview. So like, yeah, Colby's the goat.
I think you guys are
Absolutely.
all the goats. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to sit with us, and congratulations to you and your team on a win, and we look forward to following you throughout the rest of the group stage.
Thank you. I hope you
Absolutely.
guys have a good night.
You too.
That's a you as well. Congratulations, man. But that is all we got for you. I mean, Kai, any final words before we send it off for the night?
No, I mean, yeah, I think Angie said it best. Angie's tired. I think everyone's tired. It was a long series, but it was such a good series to follow. And it's only week 3. That was even a week 2
Yeah.
matchup. So we're just at the beginning of all this action. Lots of good games to go. You definitely don't want to miss them because you're going to want to see who's moving on to the playoff bracket. Definitely a good series so far. Like we said, I mean, I think there's only one team that's still undefeated, and they've still only played two matches. So they haven't even played their week 3 match. So it's a pretty tight bracket and pretty tight group stage at this point. But yeah, I mean lots of games to go. So you're really going to want to make sure you're following along.
Yeah, absolutely. But with all that being said, I think that's all we got for you guys tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Of course, thank you, Kai, for joining me on the desk. Absolute pleasure as always. And of course, to multitudes on the prod. I know I shouted them out last time, but I think it's like 6 or 7 in the morning. Started at like
6,
5
7?
for him. I hate it here. Thank you, multitudes, for putting on the production. Crazy hours of the morning. Thanks to the players for showing up and showing out, making it a great show. All the TOs for making the magic happen behind the scenes, making sure everything goes smoothly. And of course, you guys watching at home, because if you're not watching, what are we doing it for? Thank you so much. I believe same time, same place next week, Thursday. I actually think it might be 6
Actually, an
p.m.
hour
EST
earlier,
rather
right?
than an hour. Actually, so yes, 7 PST rather than 8. But same channel, Tenax GG on Twitch. Can't wait to see you there. Have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.